website as well. But here's the real good news. They've added a few players to the field of the Rocket Mortgage Classic.
At the stop
which
sign,
does take place
turn left
June
onto
29th
North
to
Opdyke Road.
July 4th. And the additions include Cameron Champ, Max Homa, Sunjay Im, Kevin Kisner, Patrick Reed, Webb Simpson, and Phil Mickelson, ladies and gentlemen. Phil is coming to the D.
Yes.
And of course, DeChambeau is, because he's a spokesman, he's going to be playing. Ricky Fowler's going to be playing. That's really good. I think it's
At the next light, take a slight right turn.
I mean, I was there once, like one of the practice rounds. But when the Buick Open used to be in Grand Blanc,
Yeah.
I used to love going out on a Saturday and just walking around the course with a beer.
Yeah.
The sun is out. Get a place ready. It's just a lot of fun.
I've never been to an event like that.
That's great.
Do the pros interact, or are they so focused
At the
on
light,
what they're doing?
use the right lane to take a slight right turn onto University Drive. Then keep right to merge onto I-75 South toward Detroit.
Like,
Yeah.
you know, but on the practice rounds,
Yeah.
like Tuesday and
It's
Wednesday,
full
oh yeah, it's great.
See, that's when I would like to go, just to be able to see, how they prepare, what they're doing mentally, how they practice, and then have that little bit of interaction. I think
That would be pretty damn awesome.
Use the right lane to keep right to merge onto I-75 South toward Detroit.
I saw this article yesterday doing some prep. And of course, if it has anything to do with food, I think of myself and my belly and of course Big John over here. And they were talking about how there's a burger out there that was more popular than usual. We put brisket on a cheeseburger. And they said it's like the greatest, combo food ever. Sit there where they...
In 2.8 miles,
because it is that good. And you take a. This is when I would say I'm a proponent of naps, right?
Right.
You fish all morning. You have your shore lunch with the fried walleye, the fried potatoes and onions. You take a little bit of a nap. You go out, you fish the same day, and you do the same thing for dinner. It is the ultimate combination.
Stoney, have you ever, I'm sure you've had it in a restaurant with fresh fish.
Yes.
Day of caught.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It is unbelievable.
Yeah, it's great.
Unbelievable.
When I used to go to summer camp in New Hampshire, on our days off, we'd go up like a half hour, 45 minutes to Maine, Duncan, Maine, and go to a restaurant called the Lobster Pond, where basically you're picking them out of the ocean yourself.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
It's just nothing like it.
Oh, my God.
Absolutely nothing like it. And speaking of north of the border, you got me going here when I was talking about shore lunch, and when we talked about the other day of hey, when we're going to be back to normal, we
Right.
talked about fans and the big house and all that stuff. When the Canadian border and the American border is opened up, and you get a chance to go north of the border, the walleye fishing and the trip that it involves, I was thinking about. Have you ever had poutine?
yeah, I love poutine.
Oh, fries, cheese,
Yes.
gravy. It is unbelievable.
It's like cheese curds.
Cheese curds.
Yes, they're awesome. You can't live over
Pretty
it.
much lost me the rest of the show here.
Yeah.
Thinking about breakfast, lunch, dinner, all in one.
Yes, indeed. We have some thick and text here. Corned beef and pastrami with Swiss cheese and Russian dressing on an onion roll that can be purchased from Blue's Deli. It's called the David's Drip. It goes right into your left ventricle. They say that you don't have it. That's Andy from Fowlerville. I like this one, frosty and fries.
Oh, I'm all about that. Absolutely. That becomes your spoon.
Yeah, I guess that. Fish and chips.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Chips and salsa.
Oh, yeah. Chips and queso.
Peanut hummus. Steak and eggs.
Steak and eggs, absolutely.
Hummus is really good, and I'm on this kick the last
Hummus
days.
kick?
Oh no, just try not to eat bread or pizza.
Uh-huh.
No bagels, no pizza. And so I've been eating celery with hummus. That type of thing.
No bagels for bagels?
No bagels for bagel food. We've had 3 days. I'm trying to just do it just during the week, Monday through Friday.
Oh, you get Saturday, Sunday are your cheat days?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, so you brought up steak and eggs there. Where do you guys stand on the Mexican omelet? Because you put the chili on the omelet.
I've never had it. I told you guys I had about that farmer's omelet for the first time a while ago.
With the gravy on it? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Put chili on an omelet? I'm all for it. I love
I
chili.
had one last night. Yeah.
That was at your first?
No. Me and Connor went out. I went to a Coney, and it was excellent. I hadn't had one for a while.
Here's some more of the best combos because I saw this article in Barstool talking about brisket burgers. Ground brisket burger with fried pickles. Fried pickles are okay. I've had them. They're okay. Not my favorite.
You start putting vegetables on things, like you mentioned the coleslaw, and you lose me.
Now, do you consider sauerkraut a vegetable?
Yes, but that's on the acceptable list.
On the acceptable list for like a deli sandwich and a hot dog, like a Reuben?
Oh, on a hot dog, yeah. I wouldn't put it on a deli sandwich, but I'd put it on a brat.
You like Reubens? You don't like Reubens then?
Not particularly.
Okay. 248-539-9797. We'll take some more of your phone calls and texts. It's the Stoney and Chance program. Don't forget the 2 Grand Slam coming up at 7:25.
Well, it was a big night last night for the NBA favorites. All 3 covered. And there's never been a better time to find out why BetMGM is the king of sportsbooks. Right now, new customers have a chance to win $100 in free bets when they place a $1 moneyline wager on any NBA playoff game. If either team hits a 3-pointer in the game, you'll win $100 regardless of your bet's outcome. Just use bonus code TOMAT100 when you make your first bet to take advantage of this offer. Get ready to turn the playoffs into payoffs. Sign up now and discover BetMGM's boosted odds specials, daily promotions, and so much more. Download the app or go to BetMGM.com and use bonus code TOMAT100 to win $100 in free bets if a 3-pointer is made in any NBA playoff game. Think about that. 1 3-pointer today in the NBA, that's easy money. It's always showtime at BetMGM. This is
day construction scheduled to close the M39 Southfield Freeway northbound ramp to Oakwood and a right lane closure today for Woodward southbound at 9 Mile. I'm Michelle
Lane
Hyman with
closure
traffic.
at 2.5 miles.
Sweeter sounds. Hear the game. All the play-by-play all season is on 97.1 The Ticket and the Odyssey app.
This Sports Eyes with an Odyssey Sports Minute. He's back. You'll remember Ben McAdoo, the genius who benched future Hall of Famer Eli Manning for the immortal Geno Smith. Guys like that should be fired immediately and banished to football purgatory, which is exactly what happened to Benny Mack, former Packers and Giants offensive coordinator who replaced Tom Coughlin as head coach for Team Maritish. He's out of football for 2 years. Last year he served as Jacksonville's quarterback coach, which may have been the same as being out of football or arguably even worse. Eli, cutting edge, Jerry Jones must have seen something in McAdoo's outstanding work with Gordon Minshew, Jake Futon, and Mike Winning. Alger just hired him as a Dallas consultant. This reunites McAdoo with ex-boss Mike McCarthy, both of whom, it turns out, were transformed into successes by Aaron Rodgers, as much as Peyton Manning made Adam Gase. I'm oversized.
Summer, it's almost here, but Memorial Day savings are already at the Home Depot. In-store, online, store-wide. Like 5 bags of garden fresh mulch for just $10. Save on everything from flower beds to a fresh toilet paper. From power tools to ceiling fans. Ready, set, summer. Memorial Day savings here now. At the Home Depot. Outdoors get more done. Limit 75 bags per customer. Color selection varies by store. Plus last Is that a Q2 or a Q3?
Dwayne's CPA went MIA. To keep his books and his sanity, he needs to find a replacement ASAP.
Hey, John, have you ever heard of a fungible deed?
Indeed can help him hire the people he needs.
Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job, you immediately get your short list of quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job criteria. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Med Supply in Troy, Michigan is your local one-stop shop for home and business medical equipment and supplies. They have an assortment of FDA-approved nitrile gloves, the highest quality, most durable medical-grade gloves for your peace of mind. Med Supply carries PPE, N95 masks, hand sanitizers, wipes, isolation gowns, and more fluid temperature grades. 18 years in business, aggressive pricing, same-day delivery. While supplies last, visit med-supply.com. That's med-supply.com.
It's that time of year. And as a landscaper, that can only mean one thing. It's my time to hustle. And with Metro by T-Mobile, me and my brothers now have the extra tools we need to get this gig growing. Metro gave us 4 lines of unlimited high-speed data for just $25 each. Plus, they threw in 4 free Galaxy phones just for switching. Now we can keep in touch no matter where we're mowing. And keep the social feed updated. So the whole town knows who's taking charge of these yards.
You work hard. That's why Metro makes switching easy. Right now, there's 0 fees to switch. Enjoy Metro's lowest price on unlimited. Just $25 a line for 4 lines. Plus, get 4 free Samsung Galaxy phones. All on the T-Mobile network.
I'm Robin, and that's how I rule my day with Metro.
Users greater than 35 gigabytes per month may notice reduced speeds, and Metro customers may notice reduced speeds versus T-Mobile. Video streams at 480p plus device sales tax with eligible port in and no T-Mobile service in 180 days. 1 phone per line, keep 4 line for promo rate. Additional terms. Limited time offer. Details at metrobytmobile.com.
Starting stronger starts at AutoZone, where they've got battery solutions in the form of free battery testing, free battery charging, and replacement batteries that fit your needs. That's what makes them America's #1 battery destination. Get in the zone. AutoZone.
What are you waiting for? It only takes an hour for you to have your child's heart screened. Get your kid's heart checked at the Ernst Cardiovascular Center at Beaumont Hospital in Royal Oak. Details at 971theticket.com. Odyssey is your new home for all the audio that matters to you. Download the Odyssey app today. Live from the Jamie Samuelson studio, here's Stoney and Jansen.
Last night, the Tigers shut out the Cleveland Indians 1-0. Moreno went 5 2/3 before leaving the game with a cramp in his forearm. Bullpen did a nice job. Afterwards, Cisnero, Fulmer, and Gregory Soto. Although Soto does give you some oddity because he always seems to walk a guy.
Yeah.
But whatever. And they made actually had good defensive play, scored their one run in the bottom of the ninth.
So he just likes to bring a little excitement, right? Bottom of the ninth inning.
Right.
Why not?
Right. Actually, was it the bottom of the eighth? No, my mind's
No, I think he came in the ninth.
Yeah, he came. We were talking, though, more importantly, the Tigers, about food. And by the way, kudos to my daughter, Jessica, who's been trying to make me a healthier eater. Some of the stuff she's come up with is pretty damn good. Nothing, flamboyant or anything, like appetizers of like cucumber stuffed with tuna that I like.
That's great.
Yeah, exactly. Here we go. So I was seeing this article. They said the best combos right now is brisket burgers. Brisket on a burger.
Oh, yeah.
So here's some others at 248-539-9797, which is also our telephone number if you'd like to actually speak to us. Might be odd, but any sausage or brats with mashed potatoes.
Nailed it. You put mashed potatoes with just about any protein, and you're doing it.
Cool Ranch Doritos and Dean's French onion dip. That's from Morty and Rovine. Pulled pork mac and
Lane
cheese.
closure ahead on I-75S in 3.2 miles.
One word for food combo: chili dog or chili fry.
Yeah.
Bologna sandwich with cheese and crumbled barbecue potato chips and a little mayo helps if you're stoned. Jeff in Oxford. Guys, bacon wrapped Brussels sprouts are incredibly tasty. They're worth the work to make them.
Why would you want to waste your bacon?
Well, you ever had bacon on scallops?
Stay in the
I've
left
had
3
bacon
lanes.
scallops. Yeah, bacon wrapped scallops, sure. Yeah, but Brussels sprouts to me are just.
Haven't tried this, but saw it on TikTok. Sounds disgusting, but supposed to be amazing. Mustard, yellow mustard on watermelon.
So I don't think, was it Monday we had the news story? And I wanted to ask you this. French's, and it's not available in Michigan, but French's has come out with mustard flavored ice cream. Now I believe, and Heather, correct me if I'm wrong, but there was some cake batter in there as well.
Yes. So they tried to sweeten it up a little bit.
Yeah.
So it wasn't just this.
It was bright yellow ice cream. I'm not sure I would put mustard on my watermelon.
I love mustard. I would try one. I would try it. The salt on watermelon is very good. It's sweet salt.
The only way I eat.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But mustard is nasty. No, it's completely different than salt. Gross. Those challenges are not always real. You know that.
I didn't know. That sounds something to try. But if it's food, the ketchup.
No.
Breakfast toast buttered with homemade black raspberry jam or bacon sandwich. Most bacon sandwich ever. Best breakfast ever.
What about just, mine would be tomato soup and grilled cheese.
That's a great combo.
Great.
Yeah.
Great combo.
You know what else is good with tomato soup? Croutons.
Spaghetti on a burger. Spaghetti a little fried so you get a little crisp. Saw it on Guy's Grocery Games. So good.
I was watching Grocery Games last night. You could put just about anything on a burger. And I know that we had talked about the burger, it's ham, the bacon, obviously you put some brisket on a burger. Yes, I'm all for it. Spaghetti, a little crispy, sure.
Sounds good.
I love the coleslaw.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people do. That's a traditional kind of thing.
Like me some chicken and waffles. Something about that sweet and savory that makes it good. Chicken and waffles is awesome.
Yes, no question.
All right, last night in the National Hockey League, we had 3 stave situations where a team could stave off elimination. The Islanders, they won their series with Pittsburgh, so Pittsburgh staved failure. Tampa over Florida. Florida staved failure. However, the Minnesota Wild, they were successful in their stave. They staved off elimination against Vegas, scoring 3 goals in the third period, winning 3-0. That series tied at 3. So I'm thinking, stave is a word that, for the most part, at least in our vernacular,
2 miles.
in our
Take
lives,
exit
the only time
5060
you ever
to
use
merge
that
onto
word
M8
stave
west toward
is
Davison
in
Freeway.
sports.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there are other, uses for words besides sports. But I would say, what other words out there, or I don't know, sayings, maybe even pieces of equipment, I don't know, I have no idea how to qualify it, that you only might use in sports. For instance, John, I don't think you're going to the store at the hardware store today to buy a rosin bag.
No.
You get some rosin? Well, when was the last time you used resin for marijuana debris? But
No.
I've never used a rosin before, except, well, maybe bowling, you had that the bag there. That's sports, okay.
Yeah. Rosin bag, I don't know that I would ever use it. When I was doing some powerlifting, I would use a rosin bag just to dry out my hands a little bit.
Okay.
But again, it's sports.
Yeah.
All right, so yeah, I guess it doesn't,
Usually.
How about touchdown?
Well, sometimes you'll use it, well, not recently. When they used to have they'd send the guys out in space and they come back, from either the moon or just circling, and the vehicle they would be in would
The
land
lunar
in the
lander,
ocean,
yeah.
or whatever it would be. They would say touchdown.
I would imagine that's landing a plane or, working in the automotive industry previously. That is a term that I have heard used in terms of parts fitting on specific other parts.
So, can you guys guess? I'll give you a couple guesses here. The synonyms for stave off, according to Merriam-Webster.
Thwart.
No. Turn back. Turn away. Repulse.
Yes.
Repel. Fend off.
So I could have some mosquito stave.
Number one, isn't like a stave actually like a sword or a machete too or something?
No, this is a synonym.
Okay.
Beat off.
Okay.
What?
Darren Pang, ladies and gentlemen.
Look at Heather.
Well, I'm laughing at you, Tom, because your little face and that little smirk as soon as you said it just got me. It was your face.
I said it.
Yes, I'll use one that you talked about this morning and the Tigers used last night. Bunt.
Use the right lane to take exit 5060 to merge onto M8 west toward Davison Freeway.
Besides sports, I mean, stave, there are other
uses. Yes, I don't know.
Like there's another one in baseball. I don't use in everyday life. Balk. But you can balk at doing something.
Right. Yes, you can.
I do have a baseball one for you. When someone's struggling offensively,
Take the
they're really
exit,
scuffling.
then keep left to merge onto M8 west toward Davison
By the way,
Freeway.
a stave is a noun. Again, known as a stick, a rod, or a pole.
What's that laugh? Rod, pole, beat off.
3 miles. Take exit 53 beyond to I-94 and Fort Freeway toward Chicago.
After Tony's sports update, Heather has news. What's up, Heather?
Well, everything is really opening up across the country, right? And as places continue to open up, I think we're going to be hearing more stories like this, unfortunately. So I'll share that with you next.
All right, 97.1.
WXYT FM and WXYT HD1 Detroit. An Odyssey station. Sports headlines all day, every day. From the Sold by 5C Spice Desk. This is 97.1. The Ticket.
This update is brought to you by Miller Landscape. The Tigers snapped a 4-game losing streak last night as they knock off the Cleveland Indians 1-0 at Comerica Park. That's the first victory for the Tigers over the
2 miles.
in their last 7 meetings. It was a bad scene last night in Philadelphia as a fan would dump popcorn on the Wizards' Russell Westbrook while he was leaving the game with an ankle injury in the fourth quarter. Afterwards, Westbrook, who needed to be restrained by security from going after the fan, called on the NBA to do a better job of protecting its players from out-of-control fans.
Obviously, I've learned to look the other way, but after a certain extent, you can't just keep looking the other way. There has to be some penalties or something to put in place where fans can't just come to the games and do and say as they please, because they wouldn't do that anywhere else, any other setting. And I'm sick and tired of it, honestly.
Westbrook and the Washington Wizards lost last night to Philadelphia, 120-95. this year's NBA draft and has, at least for right now, left the Michigan basketball program. I say right now because Dickinson isn't hiring an agent, which means he can return to the Wolverines next season if he decides to pull his name from the draft. The Lions have reportedly lost backup defensive tackle Joel Heath for the season after he tore an ACL during a practice drill that took place yesterday. Meanwhile, ESPN is reporting this morning that the NFL and its players union have agreed in principle to a salary cap ceiling of $208 million for 2022. Now, that doesn't mean that number will be the cap figure for next year, but it does indicate the cap will be going up from this year's number, $182.5 million. From the Ticket Update Desk, I'm Tony Ortiz. For more, stay tuned to 97.1 The Ticket and Odyssey.com.
Ticket text on words only used in sports because the word stay has fascinated me for
Use the
years.
right lane to keep right to
Two
merge
words
onto
describe quarterbacks,
towards
poise and
Chicago.
moxie. Rarely hear them used elsewhere. Poise you hear used.
Moxie, you don't
Moxie.
hear very much.
Moxie's definitely a sports term.
Yeah.
He's got moxie going in that corner.
Keep right.
Rosin is used for violin knobs.
Okay.
Did not know that.
Didn't know that either.
And physicality. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Or the coach's bad grammatical term, physicalness.
Oh, yes. There's a lot. We could do one on bad coaches' grammar, too, to describe things like injuries. By the way, the Russell Westbrook thing we talked about, Tony mentioned in the update.
In 2
Watch the
miles,
video.
take
He
exit
didn't-
213 to
you're not
merge
straight
onto
out saying
I-96
ran
toward
up to him and
Lansing.
Dumped the bag of popcorn in his hand.
Yeah.
It's still bad. He should never do it. He should have been ejected. They shouldn't look. But what he did was he dumped his popcorn on the tarp. It looked like, as where the players were going under. It didn't look like it was as bad as it made out. Still awful, but it wasn't an attack.
Right. Oh, I agree.
It's a waste of popcorn. This is
That's exactly a waste of $20.
all right, Heather.
Well, this is pretty cool. A Michigan man who was wrongly convicted of murder back in 1989 will soon be released after his sentence was vacated thanks to advancements in DNA technology. So this man, Gilbert Lee Poole Jr., was actually accused of stabbing a man to death in Pontiac back in 1988. Now, although at the time witnesses provided a description of the person who killed this man to police, there was really no leads until Poole's then girlfriend went to the police and said, you know what, he committed the crime. And then there was this expert that testified that Poole's bite matched a bite mark that was found on the victim, and he was basically instantly sentenced to life in prison. Well, as technology
Stay in the second lane for right.
post-conviction DNA testing was conducted on the crime scene evidence, and it was determined that DNA did not match Poole's or the victim's DNA.
Use the right
That
lane to
led
take
a
exit
whole
213B to merge
full-blown
onto
investigation
I-96 toward
into the case.
Lansing.
It was determined that Poole was wrongly convicted and did not commit the crime. So now he is awaiting his release.
Take the exit, then keep right.
You didn't do it. You didn't do it.
Yeah.
Now,
I know this happens
Right,
all
to
the
merge onto
time, which is so
I-96 west toward
unfortunate that
Lansing.
these people who are innocent have spent their whole lives almost in jail for something they didn't do, but I'm glad that he's able to get out, for sure. We talked about this with that other guy that's getting out, or he got out as well. Like, the first thing you do, the world would be so different. I don't know
Yes.
what you do when you get out of jail after spending
Stay in
that
the
long
left 4
behind bars.
lanes.
For sure. Billy Joel fans will have to wait another year to catch him live in Detroit.
6.3
He has
miles. Take
postponed his
exit
Detroit visit
183
yet
to merge
again.
onto
He will
M39.
now play Comerica Park on July 9th, 2022, which is 1 year to the day after he was scheduled to perform. So if you have an existing ticket, those will be honored for the 2022 concert. There are refunds that will be available as well for 30 days starting today. So if you do want a refund, you need to get on that pretty quickly. So while there's certain concerts that are postponing, there are other concerts that are raring to go. I mentioned earlier, Florida Georgia Line is set to perform at the LCA this fall. They'll be here in October, October 28th of 2021. So some concerts are go, some are not. If you want to see Florida Georgia Line, you can go get tickets starting on Friday, June 4th at 10 a.m.
Billy Joel just needs to partner up with the country acts.
Yes, exactly. An employee opened fire Wednesday morning at a California rail yard, killing 9 co-workers before taking his own life as law enforcement rushed in. struggling with vaccines in Japan.
It's such a hard decision because you want to make it for public health, but you also want to make it for. I mean, there's what $40 billion that I think the government has put into hosting the games, and that's a lot of money.
I know. They end up losing money anyway, whether you have them or not.
Right.
Well, especially if they're going to have them, but nobody can go watch them.
Right.
I mean, there's a lot of money to be lost, and then there's a lot to think about. The athletes as well, who've been training pretty much their entire lives for this moment. I don't know. It's a tough call.
In 2 miles,
I
take
said
exit
before, I wouldn't be
183 to
surprised.
merge onto
It
139.
wouldn't shock me if we find out that they're being canceled or postponed. I don't know if they do that, but we'll see. Okay, so as businesses across America are opening up again, unfortunately, it seems like we're going to get more and more stories like this. We've seen or heard a lot of stories about these fights and brawls breaking out on planes. We've seen it. We talked about it this morning at baseball games. People are fighting. Well, there was a big brawl in Ohio water parks. Did you hear about this?
No.
Oh my gosh, it's ridiculous. There was a drunk couple at this water park in Ohio. They got into this fight when somebody tried to cut in a line. All right, both of the people ended up getting knocked out. There was a 23-year-old woman, a 24-year-old man. They were heavily intoxicated when this fight started. It's not clear if they were the ones who cut line or if somebody else did, but either way, there's footage of this woman trying to hit a guy who basically body slammed her, and she nailed her head on the pavement. I saw a photo of her laying on the pavement with like blood coming out of her head, and then the guy got
Use the
knocked
right
out
lane to
after
take
he tried
exit
to attack the
183 to merge onto
EMT, and then he hit his head on the ground. When he woke up, he then punched a cop, and then he got tased and arrested. And they also arrested the woman. She's facing charges of aggravated menacing and disorderly conduct while intoxicated.
Take
And
the
this guy is
exit,
facing
then keep left to merge
charges,
onto
including
M39 South.
assault on a peace officer, assault on an EMT, and resisting arrest. And this guy had a warrant out in Michigan for stealing a car. So it was just a
Use the
huge
left
mess. And it
lane
also
to
sounds
keep
like the
left to
man
merge
who
onto
body slammed the
M39
woman
South.
could also be facing charges. But people, just
Again,
things are open. Let's calm
Relax.
down and enjoy the moment. Like, do not get so
Keep
worked
left.
up.
I think
It's
people
crazy.
are because they've been locked up, haven't done much, and they're letting loose and just losing control.
They are. I mean, it just.
Yeah.
Calm down, people. Calm down. According to science, this is the maximum age humans can physically reach. You want to guess what it is?
132.
131.
No, you guys, even older. I liked your Price is Right guess, though. Just
Yes,
out by
thank you.
one. Yes. 150.
Okay.
That
something to
is
shoot
pretty
for.
darn old. Yes,
Yeah,
something
all right.
to shoot for. So 150 would top the current record for oldest human, who passed away back in 1997 at 122 years old. So that's the oldest we have seen so far on record. And researchers determined that the human lifespan is most significantly based on like two data points, which is biological age, which they associated with stress, lifestyle, and chronic disease, and then also resilience, which is how quickly the person is able to return to normal after responding to a stressor. So they used these findings, and researchers found that at around 120 to 150 years old, the human body shows a complete loss of resilience, which just results in an inability to recover. So by that age, like, our body just can't handle any sort of stress. We don't have that resilience to, whether it's a disease or whatever, we can't come back from it. But if I could live to 150 years old, wow.
Yeah, I mean, that means you
You'd
got
see.
88 years. At least in my lifetime.
Yeah.
The Lions
That
could
would
win
be
the Super Bowl.
incredible.
I got 105 to get that done. Yeah.
That's pretty awesome.
That'd be amazing.
It would be
I'm
amazing.
all in. It's a competition now.
All right, thank you very much, Heather. Coming I tell you. There you go. Coney Dog right there at the D. And a long bar. Watch all the games, hang out. The bartenders put on a great show. Lots of high energy. Derek Stevens, he owns the place.
At the next
That's his
light,
place there at the
turn
corner of the
right.
long bar. Tell him we sent you. And he just might get you a cocktail. Just might. So book a room today at thed.com. It's the D Las Vegas, your home for Detroit sports in Vegas.
97.1 The Ticket.
At the light,
From the
turn right onto
WWJ
Faust
AM
Avenue.
950
Then the
Traffic Center,
destination
this
is on your
report brought
left.
to you by Mastercraft Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. All lanes are still blocked by an earlier accident, 696 westbound at 275. Backups continue from Orchard Lake Road. The DuckDeco route you can trust is 12 Mile or Grand River. For same-day service of your air conditioning or plumbing, call Mastercraft Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. 37 years in the business. A+ Better Business Bureau rating. Mastercraft Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing, 800-924-2123. MastercraftHeating.com. I'm Michelle Pena with traffic.
Radio.com is now Odyssey. Download the Odyssey app and listen to 97.1 The Ticket and all the sports, news, music, and podcasts and movies.